Hello my friends, and welcome or welcome back to my channel. For this reading is going to be a little different. I had someone request a reading on, letting go and healing when a connection comes to an end. And so I wanted to see if we could tap into that energy today. So I pulled out this deck. It's called Earth and Bone Oracle, and it says honor the concepts of rebirth and transformation. So some of these cards can talk about endings. Usually, when there's an ending or when someone releases you or there's a breakup, it's, if you think about the death card, what comes after death is transformation and rebirth. So that's specifically why I got this deck. And I'm not really sure what will come out, but I really wanted to do this reading for that person, even if, it only resonates with that one person. I felt really called to come do that today. So we do have inner work. So it could be that, maybe the connection came to an end because there was inner work to do. And oftentimes when a connection comes to an end, the best thing you can do is inner work and self-reflection. When two people part ways and one of them jumps immediately into another connection, like I'm talking immediately, it's because they're avoiding self-reflection. They're avoiding feeling the hurt. They're just, jumping from one connection to another without taking that time to really heal and release. Do people fall in love with people who they meet on the rebound? Of course that happens. I actually don't like the term rebound because sometimes people come into our life in divine timing, we can't really control the timing. But my point, I'm talking about someone who would one day they're in a connection or exploring a connection with someone, and then the next day they're in a connection with a completely different person. It's like, that's the energy I'm talking about. That's more than just rebounding. That is, to me, that's avoidance. That's avoidance of doing the work. So not that I'm saying that's what you're doing, but I'm telling, this is for if you're dealing with someone, if you're connected to a past energy that just jumped into something else, it hurts, it hurts like hell, but it says more about them than it does about you. And when a connection ends, that's your time for transformation and a glow up, my friend. So, and I know that can feel impossible when you're going through a breakup. So let's see what comes out of this deck that I chose to get for you. We have opportunity, prosperity, new venture. So, for some of you, that's the other thing is, I know it sounds cliche, but it's also about trusting and that what's meant for you will not pass you by. And if this is being removed from your life, it's being removed for a better reason. It's because someone better is meant to be in your life. Oh, we've got a flipped up card. Let's see what it is. It might be the message you need to hear. And if I'm laughing, I hope that doesn't. This is kind of, this is kind of a delicate subject. So I don't want you to take my laughing as I'm laughing at you. I am not. Laughing can actually help raise your vibration and raise your spirits. So anyway, we have 16, uncover, nostalgia, sentimentality, memory. So one of my advice I could give you would to be, this is what I'm talking about with that, how some people will just jump right into something else. So they avoid feeling the sadness. They avoid feeling, the nostalgia about the connection. This card, I don't actually know if I'm going to read it. The message that I'm getting from it for you is to feel those feelings so that you can release them. Grieve it, When I'm not talking about recently, but when I was I did not have the healthiest way of dealing with breakups when I was young. And like, I'm talking when I was like 20, 21. I can remember breaking up with someone and just being like, the same day, I was just like, I removed everything from my apartment that had anything to do with that person. And I just was like, nope, done with them. Door shut, chapter closed. Didn't feel any of my feelings. I was just like, turned it off, like a machine, like a robot. And it actually prolonged my healing, because I just kind of pushed it away. It was like, I'm done with that. No memories. I have to say, if you are having a hard time moving on from someone and you have a lot of visual reminders about them around, it may be best to put them away. Like, you don't have to get rid of them, but put them away in a box, you know, so that you can revisit it when you need to, when you want to, when you feel called to, and just, you know, put it in its place. Anyway, this is a different type of reading than I normally do, so I'm not actually sure who this is going to resonate with, but let's get it. We have the key, inner calling, clarity, intentions. So one thing you can be focusing on is your inner calling. This could be the transformation you need to step into your purpose, is what I'm hearing. You know, when we're in a connection, especially one where there's tower moments, where there's fighting, it ended for a reason, you know? And I'm just seeing the image of someone who in that situation can't hear their inner calling, can't hear their inner guidance, can't hear their higher self. So there is something here about you focusing on your inner calling, gaining clarity on what you want in your future so that you can take steps to make intentions for that and manifest that. Let's read this card. I think I forgot to cut the deck. You may need to practice being present. Your messages of fulfillment are sent to you by spirit and found in the awareness of presence. You have an inner calling. Fulfilling your purpose is attained by the steps you take now. The destination is secondary and only achieved after you've completed the present steps. What action can you take now? Remember, if the means do not contribute to happiness, neither will the end. Your current state of consciousness determines whatever is manifested in the future. Inner alignment is the main objective for everyone. Being present allows you to attain inner alignment. Your goals, such as a career or life's work, will fall into place once you are aligned. Through experiencing mistakes in a trial and error environment, you can determine what your purpose is. A process of elimination determines your soul's path. Discovering what is not for you leads you to what you should be doing. Just like in love, a connection that comes to an end means that that connection at that time is not the right path for you. So it's about taking comfort in knowing that the path you're on is the one meant for you, and that if that connection was being removed, it was for a reason. It was for your highest good. And perhaps it happens so that some of you could reconnect with your inner calling and your soul purpose. And like I said, hear yourself again, hear your higher self again, especially if you're coming from a connection that was, you know, tumultuous, or there was manipulation, or it was confusing. When you're in an energy like that, it's hard to hear your intuition. It's hard to think clearly. It's hard to know what's best for you. Anyway, the process, I already did that. The process of elimination determines your soul's path. Discovering what is not for you leads you to what you should be doing. Never allow fame or fortune to drive your actions. Purpose does not come from your mind, and it does not come from a thought. It comes from being still and allowing universal energy to come through you. It is a feeling. When there is something new you want to learn, simply add it to a list of all the things you wish to learn and take actionable steps to learn it. If you truly love it and it comes easy to you, then you will naturally move into alignment and the universe will conspire to aid you. If not, then move on to the next thing. Just take the steps today that will propel you towards what you want to learn, see, do, or become, one step at a time. Be here now. So your advice is to be present, be still in your present moment, to rediscover, rediscover what you love, rediscover things to love about being single. Do the things that you couldn't do when you were in this connection where you were fighting with this person. Do the things you want to do that maybe this person didn't want to do because it wasn't their style or they weren't interested in it. Date yourself, I'm hearing. I'm even being called to like movies like Bridget Jones's Diary, when she found out that there was a third-party interference, she stuck on that song, I'm Every Woman, that song. Is that what it's called? I can't even remember. I'm sorry. I'm listening to the song in my head. I'm not trying to be rude. I was just trying to hear what song that is. Is it I'm Every Woman? Anyway, doesn't matter your gender either. But what is the first thing she does? She's like, first of all, she cries. She cries and she lets it out and she mourns him. And then she replaces her love books with self-help books. She starts working out. She starts eating better. She starts spending time with her friends. She starts doing the things that she wants to do. She gets a new job, So that's kind of what is coming through with this card, and it could have to do with, for some of you, finding your soul purpose, finding your inner purpose. Even I'm hearing coming home to yourself again. I'm actually being called to get another deck, so I'm actually going to take it out before I forget. I'm going to sit it right beside me so that I don't forget. But we're going to get another one here. It's really interesting. I can't remember if I cut the deck, and for some reason I'm being told to cut the deck, which I don't normally do in the middle of a reading, but whatever. Hang on. Hang on. I need to see something here. I'm just going to pause it. All right. Remember, I don't believe in accidents, and I really don't think I cut the deck. I think I got distracted by that card that was flipped up, and I started channeling. And just before I went to shuffle, my guides told me to cut the deck, mainly because I'm like a little bit obsessive about routine, and it was bothering me that I didn't cut the deck. But it's very important. Again, I don't believe in accidents. And I cut the deck, and we have this on the bottom. We have beloved. Don't be afraid. I'm not going to talk about reconnecting with this person. Don't be afraid. The reason I paused it is because I wanted to look in the book to make sure that you needed to hear this message, and you do. So we have beloved, love, reciprocity, intertwinement. And, it's very possible that you could have been dealing with someone who didn't reciprocate your love, not in the way that you were giving it, not the way that you were showing up for the connection, which is maybe, why it came to an end. So Spirit is pleading with you. This is your advice on how to let go and heal, right? Spirit is pleading with you to learn to love yourself as much as you are loved by others. In the spiritual realm, your guides love you unconditionally. Allow yourself to discover and create your own sense of authenticity. You're still in the process of learning. You're eliminating fears and obstacles, and by doing so, you'll be able to teach people about their own lives while also learning the truth about the other side. You have so much to give in terms of love. Give it freely. Your mission is to investigate every complex channel of your existence and learn everything you can. With your awareness of your purpose, you bring healing to so many people who are saddened because they are experiencing exactly what you are: suppression and fear of being true to themselves. In the meantime, learn as much as you can and experience exactly what you want. Do what you love, and it will lead you to where you need to go. And that's what this card was talking about. We spoke about figuring out what you like through trial and error, you know, trying new things, maybe trying things that you couldn't try when you were in this connection. There's also something here about finding your purpose, and perhaps part of your purpose is to share your stories with others. So maybe, you know, maybe you're like, I don't know why I'm saying it like this, but maybe you become a boss at healing and getting over a connection, and then you go on to help others do the same, you know? Spirit is saying that they always have your back. You will always have enough. Do not act out of fear. So like that means don't hold on to a connection just because you're afraid you're never going to experience a connection like that again. Don't act out of, like, don't be fearful that you're never going to have love again. Hang on. I'm feeling called to excuse my reach. Whoa, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm letting you into my little mess here. Hang on. This is not for you. Those are not for you. But I've been getting this book during Soul Tribe readings. And yesterday, I kept seeing the number 26. So I decided in my... 26! Sorry. In my Soul Tribe reading, I decided to look up what 26 was in this book, which is messages from the universe. So I feel the need to read this to you, my friend. Love always returns. If you ever feel unloved, think about all the moments of love you can be grateful for so far in life. Even the pet who is so devoted to you as a child, or the love you feel for nature, music, your friends, or family. No matter what your situation is right now, you have been loved before, and I guarantee that you will be loved again. And you will be, and probably better than you were before. You know, I'm seeing, sometimes I watch TikToks where, you know, someone has posted a thing with them and their significant other, and the text is kind of like, I stayed in a really bad connection for 5 years. And then after I healed myself, I found, you know, this person walked into my life who treated me better than anyone ever has. You will be loved again. You're not broken. Just because, you know, you broke up with someone does not mean that no one else will ever love you or that you will never love another. It may feel like that right now, but at one point, before you met the person that you're grieving, you probably felt like you were never going to experience love. Am I right? And you did. So love always returns is my point. Let go and trust that your path is designed for so much abundance. Trust it, follow it. Give others a reason to be true to themselves. Set a standard of living by example through love. By accepting everyone without judgment, including yourself, you teach them the art of authenticity. No one is perfect and no one is less. No one is better or more right. No one is more important than anyone else. And another thing that I want to say for anyone who's trying to heal and move on is to not hold on to that anger about that person. Don't hold on to the resentment. You know, I'm hearing deal with the things you need to deal with on your side, and then as best as you can, release it and move forward. So many people get trapped in that bubble of anger, you know, being angry at that person. Like, and I'm not saying you can't be angry at this person. Anger is also healthy and normal. But don't hold on to that anger because that person, you know, I'm just going to throw an example out there, a really random example. And I know it's random because it's not one that I use a lot. But I'm being called to use this one. So let's say this person cheated on you, okay? Instead of holding on to that anger and taking that on yourself and judging that person and sitting, you know, in your energy and saying, well, that person's an a-hole and they deserve this and they deserve that. How dare they cheat on me? How dare they do this? I'm so mad at them. I can't even believe that person they cheated on me with must be better than I am, or, you know, it must be because I'm not enough. It must be because I'm not good enough, or I wasn't enough for them. Why wasn't I enough for them? Do you see where I'm going with this? Instead of sitting in all that energy, look at it for what it really is. It has, if that person cheated on you, it has to do with them. It doesn't have to do with you. It makes them icky, not you. You know, and the more you sit in that energy and let it control you and eat away at you, you're still giving that person power over you. And the last thing you want to do is take that wound into another connection with someone new. Because if you don't heal that wound and heal yourself before opening yourself up to new love, that person is going to come into that new connection with you as a third-party interference energetically, because they wounded you, they cheated on you, they hurt you. You're now carrying that wound, that fear of being cheated on, into this new connection. And it's like the ghost of that person is a third-party entity in your new connection. Does that make sense? Anyway, that's what Spirit's spewing out of my mouth. So let's get one more from this deck. We have higher self, fertility, and creativity. All right, so 31. You have power. You have the power. 77. So interesting, because you also had one that was on 66. 66, 69, 77. You have the power. Take comfort in the fact that you have complete control over anything you want, and that you must change inwardly before you can see it externally. You are the vessel and the instrument of the Creator, capable of manifesting everything you desire. Thus, the transformation begins within you and is carried out by the exterior universe aligning itself to fit your needs. This is what you are the creator of your universe means. You have the advantage. However, to seek out the change you desire, you must see the energy and entities that can assist you as external in order to become aware and recognize that change is Can I just start that over? However, to seek out the change you desire, you must see the energy and entities that can assist you as external in order to become aware and recognize that change is required and that you will not change unless you consent to the influence. It is all within you. There is a universe within you, and each reality is different and unique because each person is different and unique. When you engage with entities apart from yourself and acknowledge that they have their own essence, you operate with a better understanding and capability of influencing energy. And I think it's interesting that it talks about when you acknowledge that other people have their own agendas, their own shadows, like it really wasn't about you. If you were cheated on, that is so about your person and the insecurity they have and whatever's going on with them. And it's, you shouldn't take that on yourself is what I'm hearing. Anyway, I'm being called to get a few cards from this other deck, which is like interesting because it's nothing like this deck. So let me just give it a shuffle. Is there a card flipped out? Well, let me just see what this says. I opened right up to it, so you must need to hear it. You must need to hear it. I opened right up to it, and it's page 66 after I pointed out that was on page 66. This is your time to go within. Seek and find your inner refuge. Take time for deliberation and reflection. In times of retreat, you can truly hear the voice of your soul. Oh my gosh. That's magic. If you have been pushing hard or struggling, this is time to be still and nurture your inner world. Draw nourishment from the wellspring within you. Think carefully about the decisions you make at this time. If possible, put them off. Now is not the good time to make a life-changing choice. Instead, take time to create a foundation for the future. Retreat and reflect on your heart's true desires. Proceed with care and deliberation as you make plans. Listen to your inner guidance. Retreat and replenish your inner resources. Now is not the time to act, but to incubate your ideas for the future. Be still. The answers are within you. Magic is all around you. And this is Tower Energy 16. So after a tower moment, seek refuge from, like, seek shelter is what I'm hearing. And it's also, it was on page 66, but also 67. And 67 equals, just bear with me here, 67 equals 13, which is death and rebirth and transformation, which is, you know, what I mentioned when I started this reading. So I am going to keep that in here. I think that's symbolic for you. And we'll see what else you need to hear. Nope, shuffle the deck, Spirit says. Well, Spirit has a funny way. Spirit has a funny way of operating. Spirit has a very funny way of operating. So just as I was talking about how that added up to 13, I cut open to 13. Or when I cut the deck, that was what was there. So underneath that, we have beauty. So realizing the beauty within is what I'm hearing. I'm just going to read the quick one of this. Remarkable spiritual beauty is growing within you. Be aware of the beauty that is around you, and splendor will expand in your life. Create beauty in your home, even in the smallest ways, and an inner grace will radiate out from you. Beautiful. And you know what? Spiritual beauty and growth cannot happen when you're in a tumultuous, I don't know why I keep saying tumultuous. Why do I keep saying that word? I'm not, like, I never use that word. Unless it comes out in a reading. That's the only time I use that word. But you can't grow and thrive when you're living in shadow and fighting and sadness and confusion. You can't thrive. You can't. This is your chance to thrive. This is the chance for your glow up is what I'm hearing. Anyway. This is the time to express yourself. Don't hold back. Choose life on your terms. Don't be trapped by the expectations of others. This card indicates that it's time for you to break free and let your spirit fly. Be daring as you go beyond predictable behavior. Fling your arms up to the heavens in joy. This card can also appear when you have let life or others restrict your freedom or a relationship. Recognizing this is the first step to reclaiming your power. Don't allow yourself to be trapped by the convention or expectations of others. The truth is, you aren't here. This is on page 60. Anyway, 6 is huge in your reading. The truth is, you aren't here to be ordinary, but to step beyond limitations and self-imposed boundaries. You have the ability to choose life on your terms. Perhaps you aren't always free to create the exact circumstances of your life, but you're certainly able to decide what meaning to give those situations. Select meanings that empower you, for this is the time to break free. Beautiful. So I'm just going to get one more card for you from this deck. We have knowledge, air spirit, which is like magician energy. Take a moment to think things through. Think as well as feel the right direction. Get clarity and become focused. Take care to have thoughtful communication with others. You receive this card when you need to think things through. Do not react instinctively to situations and people. Do your research, listen to others, speak your truth. It's an excellent time to begin a new venture or project. It will succeed as long as you are thoughtful, organized, and focused. There is a remarkable wellspring of wisdom within you. Take a breath, slow and deep, and delve into that inner knowledge. It will guide you in the right direction. Air represents wisdom, our mental activity, and our ability to reason. It's also associated with thoughts, intellect, communication, and comprehension. Through our breath, we can speak and express ourselves. Our lives begin with our first breath, so air is connected with new beginnings. The spirit of air oversees friendship, clarity, and positive focus in your life. So maybe, now is the time to also, I'm hearing, be focusing on friendship, be focusing on something other than, this connection, the ending of this connection. I'm hearing like you need a new hobby or something, a new friend, a new hobby, maybe join a class, keep yourself busy, especially like if you, I don't know why I'm being referred back to like being an alcoholic, but I'm a recovering alcoholic, 15 years sober. And I'm almost feeling like telling you to take one day at a time. And when I quit drinking, I needed a distraction from thinking about drinking because that's all I wanted to do. I just thought about drinking. I could be drinking right now. Like I could be drinking. It would be nice if I was drinking. And I needed a distraction. So I replaced drinking with something else. I don't mean like in an addictive way. I mean, I removed drinking from my life. So I needed something else to focus my energy on. So, and I'm someone who's ADHD and struggles to read. So I actually got into reading books for a very short time. It only lasted long enough to get me over the hump of the hardest days of, recovering, being in recovery. But it gave me something else to focus on. So maybe you need something else to focus on, Anyway, let's get you some tarot now. I'm using the Good Tarot, and specifically I'm using it because of the messages in the guidebook. I'm only using it for the guidebook, if I'm being honest. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Spirit what you need to hear about letting go and moving on. And I'm going to read you, I'll channel what comes through, but I'm also going to read you what the book says, because for some reason I love this book as messages. So let's have a shuffle. Let me make sure this is straight and that it's still recording. I guess it's straight enough. There are other things you could do. You could rearrange your house. You could rearrange your bedroom. That's what I mean. Like start putting your energy towards other things. And like anything you can do to give you fresh energy. So, maybe you've been thinking about getting a haircut. Maybe you want to buy yourself a new outfit. Embody, like I said, embody Bridget Jones when she finds out about what's his face? Daniel Cleaver. When she finds out about Daniel, channel Bridget Jones's energy after she finds out about Daniel. So, Spirit, what does this person need to hear about moving on and healing, releasing? So, we have the King of Water, King of Cups. So let's see what this says. I think they're at the beginning of the, yes. I honor and respect all beings, including myself, and see the commonalities we share in the spirit that is in all of us. I listen to other voices and blend them with my own wisdom before settling on an opinion, making a decision, or taking action. I gently and lovingly lead others away from fear and I don't even know what that word is. I don't know what that word is, and into harmonious collaboration. It feels like being in guiding people who are in division, who are divided, into being together. What I was hearing is to be compassionate with yourself, King of Cups. Be compassionate with yourself. Be loving to yourself. For some of you, it could have to do with showing compassion for this person so that you can let them go. The other thing I was hearing, I have to say it because I heard it, was that, you know, sometimes going over, not obsessing, but maybe, you know, it is the King of Water. So maybe at some point you had like, maybe your intuition was telling you something about this person, but you wanted to hold on out of fear. With the King of Cups, you could have been dealing with someone who was, you know, manipulative, emotionally manipulative. Maybe you felt they led you on. And again, that has to do with them. That doesn't have to do with you. So let's see what advice you need for letting go and moving on. What advice do you need when it comes to letting go of this past connection and moving forward? That was too many. We have the Eight of Water. Oh my gosh. I mean, my friends, the Eight of Cups is about walking away. So I'm not surprised this card came out. First, before I read you what's in the book, I'm going to read you what's in my little book here. Look, I opened right up to it. Sign. That's crazy. Eight of Cups shows someone willing to walk into new territories to seek new fulfillments and life experience. It signifies time for change or transition by means of walking away. You are coming to a realization that you have to make a choice to step away from what is familiar, and that true happiness will not be found in what you have already created. So there is confirmation from your guides here to let this go. And, you know, to move away from it, and that your fulfillment doesn't lie here. Your fulfillment is not in that connection anymore. Your fulfillment is in your future. And the only way to get to that future, to get to that fulfillment, is to what these cards were saying, to listen to your inner voice, to follow your intuition, to, you know, perhaps there was something here about you finding your soul path, finding the things that fulfill you, aligning yourself with the things that bring you fulfillment will align you with, you know, the right path, and will even align you with the person who's meant to be with you. Leaving unhappy relationship, you know, so I'm almost feeling called to tell you, like, think about it this way. If you're struggling, think about it this way. Would you rather be where you are right now, feeling, you know, alone, but knowing your own worth, you know, you no longer have this other person in your life arguing with you, pushing you around, whatever it was. So you have peace from that. Would you rather have that, or would you rather be transported back into those hard times where it wasn't working with this person? You know, there's a reason that you let it go. There's a reason you're being called to walk away, or this person walked away from you. It's because it wasn't working. And I think that it's really easy for us to get stuck in that Six of Cups energy and remember the good times. But remember that there was a reason you walked away, is what I'm hearing. Anyway, I'm not surprised that came out. An Eight of Water. Journey of discovery, letting go, and seeking a deeper meaning and greater authenticity beyond superficiality. All that glitters isn't gold, and I know that I always deserve authentic riches, the gold that fills me with joy, abundance, and understanding. And I could even go as far as to say you deserve authentic love, the kind of love that fills you up. You know, well, no, Let me take that back. You need to learn how to fill your own cup up first. But you deserve a love that adds to that cup. There, that's what I'll say. I fearlessly pause to re-examine where I have been, where I am, and where I might go. Now I consciously choose the path that is right for me, instead of the one that seems likely to draw me into it, or the one I feel I ought to walk. I am true to my heart. I've come as far as I can, and I leave by the wayside the vast vestiges of illusion, the last bits of fear and shame. I will no longer hold on to what isn't right for me. And I just saw mic drop. Anyway, so no longer holding on. You're no longer holding on to what doesn't serve you. Did I say that right? So not only can you work on walking away from this person and this relationship, but you can also work on releasing anything else that doesn't serve you. Because why not just, why not just have a clean sweep is what I'm hearing, a fresh start. So also focus on other things that don't align with you. Sorry, take your focus off of other things that don't align with you. So if you were doing something like hobby-wise because this person liked it and it doesn't align with you, stop doing it. You don't have to do it anymore. If there's a friendship in your life that's, or a family connection that's not fulfilling you, don't hold on to it. If anything in your life that feels like it's not serving you, Spirit's saying it'll help you even release this person by letting those things go. Free yourself. For some reason, I'm feeling called to talk about vibrations and being at a higher vibration. And it feels to me like this person was holding you in a lower vibration. But it wasn't just this person. I feel like you have other things holding you down. Like imagine you being like a helium balloon, okay? And maybe you're tied, I don't know why I'm using this analogy. Maybe you're tied to different weights, balloon weights. Maybe you're tied to a few different ones. So even though you've cut this one, there's still other ones holding you back. And you want to ascend, you want to evolve. That's why readers will tell you to let go of what is no longer serving you, because all it does is it holds you down. That's all it does. Anyway, so maybe it's about, I mentioned, I don't want to trigger anyone, but I did mention addiction and being an alcoholic in this reading. So maybe, again, don't want to call anyone out, but maybe you have addictive traits that you need to let go of, that you need to work on. And it doesn't have to be with substances. It could be codependency. It could be like being addicted to being in a relationship, being addicted to having your cup filled by someone else, by external validation. It could be substances, take it as it resonates. What advice do you need about moving on and letting go? Moving on and letting go. We have the Seven of Earth. So being aware of what you're investing your time into with the Seven of Pentacles. What are you investing your time into? What are you giving energy to that you're not seeing the fruits of your labor being rewarded? If that makes sense. Seven of Earth. I'm hearing investing in yourself. Personal best, going the distance, perseverance, nonconformity. Now we have a 5-5, 6-6-7-7-5-5. Nope, that's Seven of Fire. Maybe I need to read it to you. I opened up to the wrong one. Maybe I need to read it to you. Opening to a new strategy. 88. Oh my gosh. You've got to be freaking kidding me. 5-5-6-6-7-7-8-8. That is interesting. That should show you that you are on the right path, that this is the right thing. As I reflect on my progress to date and see where I stand, I contemplate whether I want to continue singing the same song or change my tune. I am always free to go back and reimagine what I might co-create. If what I manifested does not serve me as I thought it might, I don't have to be afraid to admit that it is no longer for me. Whatever I choose to do, I am not afraid to start over. I feel assured that Spirit will always support me in my highest good. So it's like, don't be afraid to start over is what Spirit's saying. If you're still in the mindset of, well, you know, I invested so much time and energy into that person, and, you know, I thought I was going to marry that person. Spirit's saying it's okay to have a fresh start. It's okay if it didn't work out. It's okay to start again. Anyway, I'm being told to read this to you. I'm unstoppable. My passion pushes obstacles aside as I engage in sustained effort. I know how to bend, but I don't compromise on what is most important to me. If others aren't happy with the course I'm on, I don't have to let their concerns affect me. I release the temptation to resist challenges, and I trust that I can make things happen as I live life on my own terms. Inspired solutions present themselves. Very interesting. So let's just get a few more for you, my friend. Advice about moving on, patience, temperance. Just like that, we have 3 coming out. So 7 of air on the bottom, 7 of swords. I was hearing, don't avoid feeling, don't run away from the emotions. You have to feel them. Like, you have to feel your feelings. We have ace of air. Actually, temperance came out first. And then we have ace of air and page of air. Page of air came out earlier. Page of swords, which for some of you, maybe you have been wanting to go back to school. Maybe you've been wanting to start a new course of learning. I'm even seeing start a class, like some type of art class. Spirit's telling you to do it. Ace of air, destiny. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? What are you doing? It's 33. What is happening? I've never had so many double syncs come out in a reading. 3, 3, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8. That is interesting. The law of karma, powerful forces of transformation at work, synchronicity. And like I said about this person, if let's say they did cheat on you, they will get their karma. You know, you need to trust that the universe will make things right when it comes to that. Meaningful coincidences, as I'm talking about the number synchronicities, and forces beyond my human control are operating in my life now for the highest good. So for some of you, I just heard that if you are not someone who follows number synchronicities, it's time to start. It's time to begin. I'm going to be really honest with you guys about something. I was in a connection and I had like a very sudden tower moment where that connection ended. And I was actually in a city where I didn't know anyone else except this person. And I felt completely lost. And I had no idea what to do. And I'm someone who's like, I'm not a very like, I'm working on it. But I'm autistic and I've never been an independent person. So I've always had like a support person to help me through hard times. And I'm talking about like my partner, the person who I have children with. We're not together romantically, but we are raising our kids together. And so I've always had the support of that partner to help me through things. And I found myself in a city where the one person I knew, was telling me it was over. And I had followed number synchronicities before, but I felt like I was so alone, and I started noticing like weird license plate numbers. And I think that was like part of the journey where I started really, really looking up angel numbers and using them, as a guide. And like, for example, that night I went down to order myself something to eat from the hotel. And there was this weird number on my receipt. And I looked it up, and it had to do with like, don't worry, your guardian angels are with you, even if you feel all alone and you feel lost. It was like every number I looked up was so symbolic of the experience I was living in that moment. So the fact that I'm pointing out those number synchronicities could be a sign for you to start following the numbers that you're seeing. I also felt, I felt called to read out of this book, The Universe Speaks, Are You Listening? So that could be another message from Spirit for you, that they're trying to communicate with you, but maybe you're not actually looking up what those numbers mean. And let me say another thing. Number synchronicities don't have to be like, a lot of number synchronicities and angel numbers are also what they mean to you. So like, for example, if I tell you to look up angel number 458, just random number 458, when you look it up, you're going to see different websites. You're going to see different meanings. And it's whatever your higher self, whatever meaning you're called to, whatever meaning sits with you and your energy and resonates with you in that moment, that's the meaning that you take from the angel number. Does that make sense? I know it can be confusing. Anyway, your guides are going to be sending you messages. So I'm hearing, pay attention. I can't even remember if I finished that. Anyway, Page of Air, new ideas, a theory not proven, curiosity, new focus. This calls for greater investigation as we've only scratched the surface. If I explore this way of thinking, what can I learn? So again, there could be things that you want to learn about that you have. Even with spirituality, you may not even have scratched the surface yet, Again, self-love, focusing on yourself, being your own love interest, putting yourself first, learning how to prioritize your own needs, learning how to set boundaries. These are all things that will help you. And we have Temperance. This card reminds me that patience will bring me into recognition of and alignment to my purpose. All my needs are met, even though I may not see it yet in the outer visible world. The angels are looking out for me. Moderation in all things are required right now. And let me just get... one more thing, my friends. I'm just going to read you. I'm just trying to find out what Spirit's wanting me to read to you. I'm being told to go to a different book. So I'm just going to read you this one. The energy of Temperance is soft but direct. Temperance calls you to have clear direction, guided by your higher self but rooted in reality. The balance that Temperance calls for is tricky because it goes against our natural inclinations. Temperance doesn't ask you to spend every waking moment of your life deep in meditation. The energy of this card also doesn't want you to become absorbed by the pleasures of life. Temperance asks you to strike a balance between worlds. With one foot in the water and one on earth, Temperance reminds you to be in flow while simultaneously rooted. I'm mispronouncing a whole bunch of words right now. The quest for spiritual truth can feel all-consuming at times. Truth-seeking Sagittarius is associated with this card. The energy of Sagittarius doesn't like fluff and calls you to get to the heart of every matter Again, seeking balance between the spiritual world and the physical world. So, my friends, I'm going to leave that there. Hopefully that resonated for someone. And I'm sending you lots of love and light, my friend, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.